Ba-da-ba.
Oh, we're live.
We're on
We
it.
are
We did it.
live. This is Loser Leaves Wrestling, the post show for Winter is Coming. My name, it's chilly.
So cool.
My name is Roy Lazarowitz. I am with John Buseman. John, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
Whew.
It's fun that this
Yeah.
show is just gradually phasing out all the original hosts. It was Red and Mohit's show. Mohit took a break. You came in. I guessed it. I was just a guest last week. Then we come back. No announcement. Red's gone. I'm here. See you, Red.
Yeah. We should make the big announcement that Red Jefferson is missing tonight's show. He's sometimes, he's in Hollywood doing big Hollywood things. So he's missing the show because he's big Hollywood, Red Jefferson.
Big Hollywood star, Red Jefferson, starring in a national commercial. I heard it's gonna be national.
I heard big things about it. I'm hearing big things.
This you got to work overtime for this. Actually,
it's true.
And it's just a day rate, no matter how long we keep you here. Man,
I actually asked him that question too. Yeah. And speaking of big shows, Winter is Coming.
Winter is coming. Holy shit! Garland, Texas, right outside the Big D. Got Hangman and Bryan Danielson kicking it off.
Woo.
What'd you think?
So I think, before we even where do we start? Red's not here. This show was nuts. Like, we're both still processing the show in a big way. Chica Marks said Red's missing. He is Chica Marks, but he'll be back on Saturday.
All right, Chica. Yeah.
Weekly Wrestle. And also RJ's in the chat. He said, haven't been able to catch y'all in weeks. We're happy you're here. Thanks for joining us, RJ. I don't usually steer this ship, so let's hope I don't take us ashore. You know what I'm saying? So, gosh, first of all, I mean, this is the woo-woo-woos and whats of AEW Dynamite. Generally, we got to get this out of the way. It's a formality. Was this show a woo-woo-woo or a what for you, John?
Baby, this show is a huge woo-woo-woo. You know it. Wow.
It's just like, I was telling you before that I took a bunch of notes to start the show, and we can go through these notes, but I think just the first hour and 10 minutes almost of this show was one match. So I guess just before we jump into it and kind of break it down, just overall thoughts, how are you feeling? Hangman Adam Page, first title defense against the American Dragon Bryan Danielson.
First title defense. I loved it. There were many points during going in, I thought Hangman should win. This is his first title defense. You've spent so much time building him up. Had to win over Danielson in his first title defense. That's a huge elevation of him as a new champion. But man, what a brutal match. There were so many points where I thought Danielson would win. There were points where I thought Hangman would win. There were parts where I thought, that we were definitely going to a 60-minute time limit draw. I really thought that he was gonna get the pin off the buckshot lariat.
Yeah.
At the very end, and then the bell rang right before it. I jumped out of my seat and I screamed yes when he hit the lariat, and then the bell rang. I was like, no. But I want to see it. I want to see the rematch.
Yeah.
They've got more story to tell, and I think that makes sense. What? That was a free match. This is on television. A 60-minute time limit draw for the World Championship, and it didn't feel like 60 minutes. It didn't. It was not slow. They had me interested. The crowd was on fire. I love good wrestling, man. And this was just great fucking wrestling. It made me so happy. I loved it.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. I have so many thoughts. I mean, let's try to jump into it a little bit and kind of break it down a little bit more. And then what I'd like to do is also talk about like the historical significance of this in the year
Yeah,
of our Lord, the year 2021, and like how significant it is to have a 60-minute wrestling match on national television for free and
seriously.
not
Yeah.
dubbed like an Iron Man match or anything like that. Like it's just 60 minutes and there's no bullshit. There's no
Mhm.
multiple falls. There's no disqualifications. It's just
Mhm.
like two dudes beating the shit out of each other for 60 minutes. So,
Yeah.
so the show starts and you immediately get a feeling like I love when the title match or the big match starts the show because it
Mhm.
eliminates that idea of like, oh, well, this match is going to be X amount of minutes because there's X amount of time left in the
Right.
show.
They're gonna have to get this done in the next
Yeah.
18. Yeah.
Match starts, or not even the match starts. Danielson comes out and he's the age-old sign of like, this is going to be a big match, white
Mhm.
gear. He's got the
Yeah.
white gear on.
Yeah.
Anytime a wrestler's
He
wearing
looks
white gear,
great.
it's either, oh, he looks incredible. It's a big match or he's going to bleed a lot, one or the
Yeah.
other. Justin Roberts is back too, which I also really appreciated. You know,
Big
he's
fight
been gone for a
feels.
few weeks.
Yeah.
It's good to see him back. Something that I also really love that AEW continues to do is when they do the like, I keep calling them title cards. I don't know what you call them, like the name bars at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. The
They
lower
always have something,
graphic
yeah, the lower third graphic. Oh, that's good. They always have something very funny
for
for
Hangman.
Hangman.
Yeah.
This
What was it
week it
say?
was
Like resent, like
still has
still
a
has
festering
resentment.
resentment for Game of Thrones. Pretty funny.
Very
Pretty
funny.
funny.
Very funny. Good jokes.
And the thing that's like so fucking good about this is that the bell rings, they haven't touched it yet, and the crowd's just insane.
Hmm.
They're chanting AEW, they're on their feet. And the
Yeah.
thing that's so fucking cool is that at the end of this match, 60 minutes later, they're still just as on fire, if not even more on fire,
Hmm.
especially for those last couple of minutes. Um, I think this is a good opportunity to talk about our mutual love of heel Brian Danielson.
Wow. Yeah. It was so good. Like he's done such a good job over the past few weeks. Like it made my heart happy to hear the fans boo him just like on his introduction alone. You know, like the man is fucking phenomenal. Just smug, knows he's good, like knows that he's better than you, and is like gonna show off about it, and is just fantastic. Jumping jacks, jogging around the ring, big shit eating grin. Brian Danielson. It's so nice to see a heel that's that's not a fucking coward. It is just like, yeah, no, this is fun. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna, like just enjoying it so much.
And he's a heel that gets stronger as the match goes on. And like there's some good heel work throughout this entire show that we'll talk about a little later. But like with him, like, and I could be wrong about this, and maybe I'm just in this like post-match haze for Brian Danielson, but like
Yeah, just
he
still
is
high
this like
off it.
he's this like totally unique heel in that he's smaller than Hangman and smaller than a lot of the guys that he's wrestled, but
Yeah,
somehow he hits harder. His moves are more impactful. So even when he's like being a cocky prick, you still have so much like love and respect for him because he's just beating the fucking shit out of his opponent, just
yeah,
killing them. And
yeah.
there's so many like this is out of sync, this is out of order, but there's one point where there's a sequence and Hangman ends up doing a kind of a handstand quickly, and Danielson just kicks him in the
Just
gut.
immediately kicks him in the gut. Yeah, he was trying to break out of. I think like Danielson had him like in an ankle lock or something.
Yeah.
And
And
he tried to
then
power out, and he just immediately kicked him in the gut.
destroyed him. And there's that spot too where Hangman was in the ropes. He was caught in the ropes. He was standing on the apron and he was in between the middle and the top rope. And he's chopping him and he's kicking him. And Brian is just chopping and kicking and chopping and kicking. And then he jumps off the top rope and hits a knee. And it's just so brutal and so impactful. And I just like at first, like the first like 25 minutes of this match, I was like, man, this is the not just like from an offense perspective, but just in general, like I couldn't take my eyes off of Danielson. And I was like, I think this is kind of Danielson's match. Like Hangman is keeping up, but he's keeping up. He's not like pushing forward along with Danielson. And then like halfway through this match, like Hangman turns it on and it's like, oh, this is my champion. Like,
Yeah.
this is my guy.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the blood spot?
I thought it was great. I love it. You know, he busted himself. It was on the ring post, right?
Yeah.
Danielson did the like the grab the arms and just like,
and he was
bring
pulling him in,
which is just so brutal. I'm all for, you know, some blood if it helps tell a story. And like, you know, I think it tells the story of Danielson being fucking vicious and your champion is vulnerable. So, and it's, you know, it just looks fucking cool, you know? And it's like,
yeah, seriously.
Like how brutal is that? Like just the like running, like ramming your head into that post, like especially the way Danielson does it. Like all of his offense, and you're like speaking to this where it's like, you know, like, oh, he's like goes to like power out of this move and he just kicks him in the gut. It's just like, I noticed so much. I think a lot of people talk about like, oh, you know, like you see guys like more and more like, not so much on this show, but just in wrestling in general, where it's like you have your spots, right? And I've talked to you about this before, and it's like, okay, well, like we have to do this spot, we have to be in a certain place. So it's like, even though your opponent's like right next to you, I have to wait for them to like walk a few feet away so I can do this move that we had planned. But it's like, if he's right next to you, why wouldn't you just fucking hit him when he's there? You know, like it's just like that, like just the attention to detail that makes it so much more believable, you know, like, yeah, of course, like if he's right there, if he's doing that, if he exposes his gut, why wouldn't you kick him? Right? Like just, yeah. And it also, the thing too was like you're saying, like with Hangman like picking up the pace, like like maybe like about like halfway through the match, it was like early on and they were like telling the story where like there were a few times like where he didn't go after him right away, like he caught him with the slam and then he kind of like paced for a second, and Shivani even called him out, like he didn't capitalize there. And I don't know if that was like, you know, Hangman, like if he's like getting his bearings, or he's trying to be like he's being a little cautious, and then later on he's just like really fucking going for it. But you did see that kind of that change, I guess, during the match where they were both just going for it.
And I also love too that Hangman kept doing this thing. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but like he's working the midsection the whole time, right? I mean, Danielson's just kicking the shit out of him in his midsection. And there's a lot of times where like he would bust out a big move, Danielson would go down, and they would cut to Hangman really kind of taking some deep breaths, trying to get his breath, trying to get that back because he's been kicked so many times. He's trying to get his breath back, which is like a really nice touch. And something that I also really liked is, so right after that blood spot, I think it's right after that blood spot, I mean, there was just so much. He does the running knee off the apron and he hits him with his knee, but like doesn't hit him with his knee and then roll. He just basically holds on to him and like scissors him to the ground.
Right.
And just like crushes and suffocates him. And it's like such a good touch of like brutality. And it just adds so much credibility. Like we were talking about, like you mentioned earlier, at first you want Hangman to win. And then you thought, well, a 60-minute draw, you kind of go back and forth. Because you're wrestling someone like Danielson, who's so just stiff and aggressive and makes it really feel real, going 60 minutes with him is a win in the eyes of the fans. I think for me, I mean, this is the most I think AEW has done for any wrestler who isn't already established. Like, yeah, they're building up Jungle Boy and MJF is doing his thing, which we'll get to, and like Dante Martin and all of these guys, but like Hangman, between how they built him to beat Kenny and the build to this match, he's been their most credible champion. And he's the one too who they've probably needed to give the most credibility to, because he isn't a Jon Moxley or a Chris Jericho or a Bryan Danielson or a CM Punk or whoever. Like a lot of these people who are watching the show are getting to know Hangman only through Dynamite.
Yeah.
And they've really done a great job doing this. So goddamn.
Yeah.
Really something else.
Yeah. I want to see more of it. Got Chica Marks is in the chat. She said they love to explain where Garland is. Well, that's important, right? Because WWE, if it was WWE, they would have just said they were in Dallas.
Right.
Right. Yeah. If they were in Garland. put a little respect on like the actual town that you're in, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I
What's
completely
wrong with
agree.
that?
They always do that. They always do that. You got to build credibility in these towns.
Garland
Because if
and
I'm from
Garland
Garland,
and Garland was fucking hot too. They were
woo,
great.
Garland
They were
was
great. They were great
really
crowd.
great.
I mean, they gave them a fucking. I would have been mad if they were a lousy crowd because, I mean, this first match was just fucking insane. So, I mean, the whole card was great. Just 60 minutes.
Okay,
Elevate the champ.
man,
When are they gonna have a rematch? Battle of
that's
the
the thing.
Belts next pay-per-view.
I would have to think the next pay-per-view, 90-minute time limit at the next pay-per-view. Yeah, or no time limit. I think it's interesting because it's like you kind of take the place of Kenny in this scenario. Like I think the original idea was like Kenny wrestles Danielson to a 30-minute draw, then they go to a 60-minute draw, then they have a no time limit match. Well, Kenny's gone for now. So now you step Hangman in, they do a 60-minute, and now they do like a 90-minute or a no time limit, and they wrestle 70 minutes, and hopefully Hangman beats him. And what a way. Your first loss in a company, it took someone 70 minutes plus to beat you. You know, like that's nuts. That's like unheard of. It's incredible what they're doing. Like, and it's so just good. Another notch in the belt of Dynamite to be like, yes. As we look back on AEW Dynamite, the first, like, say 5 years of AEW Dynamite in another 20 years from now, we look back and we say, yes, that wrestling show that had a 60-minute time limit draw, a 30-minute time limit draw, flaming tables, light tubes, and it was on national television. Like, they just keep doing these things that people don't think should be done on national television, and it's working. It still continues to work.
Yeah.
It's something else. It's really something else. And I was thinking about it, and like, I think there has been one Iron Man match on national television that was 60 minutes. I think there were 30-minute, there's been a few 30-minute Iron Man matches, but Brock and Kurt had a 60-minute Iron Man match on SmackDown. But other than that, I don't know if there's been 60-minute matches on television. And that's like, it's a special thing.
Yeah, I can't really think of any. Can y'all think of any?
Yeah.
Sound off in the comments if there's a if there's a 60-minute match on television that we're forgetting.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know if you like this.
Yeah. Like maybe on the old like Clash of the Champions.
Right.
Like
and that's the other
like
thing.
with Flair.
Flair and Sting at the first Clash, which also went to a time limit draw, but was that 30 minutes or was that 60 minutes? I don't know. Somebody tell me.
I don't know.
Where's
I'll try and find it and watch it. Very at us.
It's a good one. It made Sting's career, and I think it was at the Greensboro.
In Greensboro,
where they'll be next week. Next week.
6-man tag coming up. It's crazy how Tony Khan knew he was going to announce that match before the.
And speaking of that, all right. So this match was incredible, and we could say a million things about it. The last 2 minutes were insane and amazing, and I also jumped out of my chair and had my hands on my head and was very afraid that Hangman was going to lose. It's funny because you spend the whole match being like, if Danielson wins this, though, that's okay. Like, I'll be okay with that. It'll be disappointing, but I'll be okay with that. Right. And then when you think it's going to happen, you're like, oh wait, no. Yeah, it's incredible.
That was I really thought he was going to get the pin. Thought Hangman was going to pin him after the buckshot, but
when Danielson had him in the label lock and he wasn't tapping out, and then Danielson started doing the forearms to the head, I was like, he's going to pass out.
He's going to pass out. Yeah.
That's when I got upset. And I was sitting in a recliner, and I went back and went, oh God. And the chair like tipped over, and I flipped over. It was not good. It was not good.
Flopped. You blew.
I flopped. Yourself. Oh my God. All right. So we go to commercial. This went through 4 commercial breaks, I think.
4 breaks. Most of them had picture-in-picture. I think there was one that didn't. One break.
There's a lot of good picture-in-picture work tonight.
Danielson was great. He was flipping off the crowd at one point. They went to a commercial. right after Hangman missed the dive to the outside and like bonked his head on the table, and like during the picture-in-picture, Danielson ripped up the mats on the floor and gave him a DDT on the concrete, and Danielson was like doing jumping jacks still, but started like selling the leg while he was doing jumping jacks. Flipping off the ground, amazing.
Doing burpees in the middle of the ring, doing like starting to do a yes chant and then turning it into the middle finger, really just classic.
That's great. I don't think I saw that. I don't think I caught that. That's funny.
Chica Mark said, "I guess the headlock got us all." It sure did. It sure did. It got me. It got me good. Chica Marks, were you rooting for Hangman or were you rooting for Danielson? It sounds like you're rooting for Hangman, but I'm just curious. So we go to commercial after this match. We have to give everyone a break after this. Even when the match was over, the crowd was chanting 1 more minute.
Yeah.
They just wanted 1 more minute.
Yeah.
Which
let them go, which is great.
It's great. It's just
give them money for the next one. All right.
Chica Mark says, "I'm too ADD for picture-in-picture." Yeah, me too.
It's
Tonight,
hard.
I tried harder because I was curious to see. There's MJF gave us a little treat during picture-in-picture, which we'll get into in the main event as well. We get back from commercial, and it's a Super Click promo, a recorded promo. I wrote down, it's funny that they want to end Sue's career. I think that's pretty funny.
The thing and there was like kazoo music playing.
Yeah, I was going to mention the music. I was going to say you felt about that.
That was the only thing I noticed. I was like kind of watching, like, is that kazoo? Is that on the? Is that supposed to be playing? All right.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And then they also mentioned that Cole is going to give them a gift next week, their Christmas gift next week. It's going to be a surprise gift.
Oh, that's right. And Bobby Fish was there, but he didn't say anything.
Yeah. Yep. Do you think the surprise gift is a debuting wrestler, or do you think it's like a portrait of them kissing each other?
Man, I don't know, because as I just said, I think I was paying more attention to the kazoo music than I didn't know that there was a surprise coming next week. I honestly missed that. But a painted portrait of them kissing each other that is then interrupted by somebody debuting. That would be great. Who's coming? Yeah. Gargano? Who? What do you know?
I don't know anything.
Gargano, I do. Why do you see that? He's got to have a kid.
I mean, Kyle O'Reilly, Red Dragon.
Kyle O'Reilly is also
not having a kid
anymore.
Right. Yeah. Okay, he's out. Yeah. I mean, he could be involved. And I think people are anticipating something like that. But for now, we have Wardlow versus Matt Sydal, which is exactly what it should have been. Complete squash.
Yeah. Sydal gets shit kicked out of him.
Destroyed. I do like that they continued to tease the Wardlow breakup, and I also really enjoyed Shawn Spears's work here. I thought it was very silly. How did you feel about Shawn Spears here?
I was fine with it. I think I was I wasn't sure like why he was telling him to wrap it up, like saying like that's enough, because I was, it almost came across like, are you worried about Matt Sydal, or do you just want the match to end so you can leave? But then he got in the ring and he was like, oh, it's okay, like we're not getting paid by the hour, and then he hit Sydal with the chair. So it's like, well, what? I don't know.
Yeah, it felt like sometimes AEW does this thing specifically. Maybe the WWE does it too. I don't watch it enough to really know, but
yeah,
AEW does a thing, especially with the heels, where it's like, we have a bit that we want to do, and we don't really care about anything else. We just want to make sure that the bit happens. And his whole bit here was like, it's excessive. Like, he kept telling him, too many power bombs. That's excessive. We just want to beat the guy. And then he takes the chair to him as like a ha-ha,
Yeah.
But I think this is a good role for Shawn Spears in general. The like heel lackey who is eventually going to have a match with Wardlow, and Wardlow needs to be in the ring with someone who's just a professional wrestler and going to make him look good. And I think that's a good role for
Shawn
him.
Spears be great at that. I did like when he had his fake phone call, when he had his phone call with MJF. Hey, Maxie.
Yeah.
And then Spears tells Wardlow that he needs to go get some champagne for MJF's his victory celebration coming up later tonight. Just a little more. Yeah. Just crank it a little bit more.
And I like that he said, "You can wear that. Don't worry about it." You can wear that was good. And then we get a video package afterwards for Ty Conti versus Penelope Ford on Rampage in a submission match, which I think is really interesting because I didn't know Penelope Ford was a submission wrestler, but apparently she is.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, that's good. You know, we're going to talk a little bit more about this, I think, coming up here in a moment. But I was watching one of these shows that's similar to this one, where it's people talking about wrestling. And one of them said, like, straight up, he was like, "I just don't like AEW's women division. I just don't think it's very good." I think this match and the match we're going to talk about in a moment are proof that their division is very good. There are very talented people in this division. It's just not booked well. And I think Penelope Ford has even come a long way and gotten to be a much better wrestler since first signing with the company. We just need more. And we talk about it every week on the show, but we just need more. We need more matches on Dynamite, because I didn't know Penelope Ford was a submission wrestler because she never wrestles on Dynamite and she never wins on Dynamite or Rampage. She's only wrestling on YouTube, and I don't watch those shows as much, if ever. So I just want to see more, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to see what they do. I love Ty Conti. I think she's fucking amazing. And, you know, I think, like, I think of her, I guess I don't really think of her like as a submission wrestler either. Like, I think,
striker.
Yeah, good, like, great striker, but I guess the like, so part of the reason for the match just because of like the brass knucks, and like you like got to take away like a pinfall, so you have to submit to win the match. I guess
that's the story that they're telling, is that the brass knucks have been part of decisions in the last X amount of times that they've wrestled, whether in singles or tags or whatever. So they're taking that away. So let's make it a submission match. And I guess a submission match is technically no disqualification. I don't know. So I guess, yeah. I just know that the Bret Hart Steve Austin submission match from WrestleMania 13 was no disqualification. So I'm going with that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's fair. That's a good one to base it off of. Like, well, yeah. You gotta ring post figure 4. Sure.
We'll get into the ring
speaking
post figure 4. And before the deed match, though, we get one more video promo from Malachi Black. And this one is my favorite so far.
This was great. So I don't even know. I was making dinner during this one, but like it's like a commercial for a cult. Like the house is bigger than you. The house always wins.
So here's the thing that I think is really interesting about this. And I'm jumping out onto a limb here. This is a bit of a crackpot theory, but what I'm thinking is he's saying that, like, you know, violence is part of us, like evil is part of us. Don't fight against it. Like, he says something crazy like, we are the species that is the most violent and has done the most damage to one another on the planet and like the history of the world. Like, stop fighting against this, like, be evil, be a part of this. And he's like doing like basically like kind of an initiation towards the end of it. And he spits the mist in someone's face. And then I guess they like puke black. I don't know. And then he says to them, with me, or like under the house of black or whatever, you'll be so much more than a king. We'll get to that in a moment. We'll get to that in a moment. But I think this idea that the mist is like powerful,
it's like a baptism.
Or like, yeah, it's like once you get hit with the mist, you're evil now. I love it. Like, I hope Julia Hart shows up, and well, you know, Griff Garrison shows up later in the show. I hope Julia Hart shows up next week and is evil and is a part of the House of Black. And the other thing, and this is the exciting thing, because Tony Khan recently said in an interview that like everybody should stay tuned to more than just, this coming, winter is coming, but to the next few shows, there's going to be some exciting things, possibly some new people debuting. When he says with me or whatever, you'll be so much more than a king, I was like, oh, that's obviously a hint. Like he just initiated someone. Who is it? It's probably Brody King.
So much more than a king. Yeah, that would be fucking awesome.
Dude,
the Brody King and Malachi are like they're teaming. They're taking like independent dates. They're the PWG tag team champions, right?
Yeah.
Ring of Honor's done. So,
dude, what a squad! Aleister Black, Brody King, and Julia Hart.
And Julia Hart as the evil twin. And then so then the Varsity Blondes or the whatever they're junior, they had a interview. I might be jumping out of.
That's okay. Yeah, go for it.
Oh yeah, so they had an interview, and I was surprised. I guess not surprised. It was just like a little different because it was Griff kind of taking the lead. Brian Pillman was like, no, don't. Hold on, man. And Griff Garrison having the logical, response to it, because like, what would you do if you're a guy and some other dude like spits in a woman's face and like blinds her? He said, I'm gonna break your jaw. He's not, like Griff Garrison's gonna get his ass kicked, but you have to believe that. You have to want to do that. And I believe that he was actually angry, like fucking angry enough to like push his tag team partner away. Brian Pillman Jr.
Something that I this is again crackpot theory, I'm out there, but it's possible.
Let's hear it.
Right? So I think the original idea last week is that he was going to spit the mist in Julia Hart's face, but accidentally the mist got on both Julia Hart and Brian Pillman.
It got a little bit on
Pillman is also going to turn evil, and Griff Garrison's out on his own. Varsity Blondes aren't doing much anyway. Might as well. Hey, why not? Let's see what happens.
I love it. I love it. See, this is what I talk about, is like it leaves open the possibilities. This show leaves open possibilities for, you're like, oh, well, maybe it could be this. Because last week I was talking about like, I think maybe Dante Martin might be under like Malachi Black's like spell or something.
All right. Yeah.
And I still don't know. I still don't know what Dante's doing.
Yeah. And also, like, if it's not Brody King, like, we haven't heard from Pac in a little bit. Maybe it's Pac. Maybe that mist. He blinded him in both eyes, and he just comes back with like paint over his eyes or something similar to what Aleister Black has. And then Pac and Aleister Black are together. Whew. Look out.
I would love that. Yeah.
There's a lot happening here, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
There's a lot of places we can go.
Man, speaking of excited, Serena Deeb, Hikaru Shida, match number 3. This is my favorite trio of matches that anyone's had in the company. I love Serena Deeb so much. Serena Deeb has made Hikaru Shida, to me, has made Hikaru Shida a much better wrestler from these matches. Deeb and Shida come out and they start hot. I love my favorite thing, and it's from watching years and years of the WWE and getting mad about it. If a good guy or a babyface is wronged in some way by the heel that they are going out to wrestle, when they enter, they shouldn't be like happy and doing their like entrance routine.
Don't take the time to do your poses.
Yeah. Go to the ring and beat the shit out of this person who almost tried to end your career.
Yeah. And that's what Shida did.
That's what Shida did. Shida threw her cane.
Yeah. Well, Deeb like tried to like jump her before she even got in the ring. And Shida like jumped off the apron and just like chucked the kendo stick at her.
Great. Fantastic. And Deeb just like, Deeb rules. Deeb's the best.
Of 1,000 holds.
Yeah. Deeb is Dean Malenko. I want them to treat Deeb like they treated Dean Malenko. Like realistically, I want Deeb to become the TBS champion and just wrestle women every week on television and just have like 10 to 12 minute matches with all these different women and just be awesome. Like going back and watching like Nitros where Dean Malenko was just wrestling dudes named like Jimmy Graffiti and wrestling like Super Hello and Cyclope and like just all these dudes and having good matches with all these dudes. Deeb could be doing that. And Sheeta just has this like extra level of intensity, like when wrestling Deeb. Like she's just on fire from jump.
Yeah.
Highlights for me were Deeb doing the figure 4 around the ring post. And I like that Deeb did it. And I think this is really smart because maybe she's not tall enough. She did it where the stairs were so she could have the leverage to come down and not like lose a step. Like I thought that was fantastic.
She's at I feel like she's put that on before. I think she always uses the side with the steps.
So smart. Hikaru Shida also hit like a really sick insecurity in the middle of the match and really kind of knocked Deeb for a loop, which I thought was fantastic. Man. And then at the end of it, classic heel move, you know, she is this brutal badass heel who's hitting people hard as fuck. And then she's like, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to go ahead and cheat. And she pulls it off. She pulls off the padding.
Turnbuckle pad. Yeah.
Turnbuckle pad. And Shida accidentally, not intentionally, but does some type of counter. She hits her head. She gets rolled up for the win. How did you feel about this match overall?
I loved it. I thought it was great. I love Deeb. And I agree with you of like what Sheeta's like doing. Cause like I've always thought that Sheeta's like a very good wrestler, right? Like she's good. But it was cool to see over the course of these matches, just like seeing her just being more fierce, being more intense than I think I've seen before from her. Yeah, really fantastic. And some of the stuff, even like, what was it? Deeb took off the casing, like the protective casing, like on like the hook in between the post and the turnbuckle first, and she like draped and like did a like a neck breaker over that piece of metal.
So good. I forgot about that.
That was insane. That was insane.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yes, I loved that. I love it's so inventive, so vicious.
Yeah. Also, this is related but different, but in the Hangman Danielson match, that's made me remember when Hangman was going after the knee, he pulled back like the cover for the guardrail and hooked Danielson's leg around and like snagged his foot in between the guardrail so he could like just like kick his fucking knee in the guardrail, which is just, I love seeing shit like that. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I've never seen anybody do what Deeb did with the center, that like just the connecting hook.
And that padding, you don't even think about that padding. Like
I never
as
think
a wrestling
about that.
fan watching it.
I never think about that. Good. You always think about really the turnbuckle. Incredible. And I think AEW does the turnbuckle bit a little too much sometimes. Honestly. Heels go for the like removing the turnbuckle a lot.
Yeah.
And of all like the things that happen in a regular match, like all the like apron bumps and everything that never get a pin, to like for like this a piece of metal that's like this big, like that's gonna but I bought it. I'm saying that, but still, like I totally bought it because she hit it straight on, and it felt, and it was good to see as a like for her as a heel to like get some, you know, have her 100%. come up and stun. 100%. You're out of here.
Fantastic match. Man, definitely go out of your way to watch all 3 of these matches that they had. I thought they were all fantastic. And then after that, we got the Griff Garrison promo, which we talked about. And then we get a quick recap of Hook and Hook's debut, which should just be recapped on every show for the rest of time.
Everybody remember Hook.
He has the #1 selling t-shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees right now, which is absolutely insane.
No shit, really?
Fantastic, yeah.
And it's just a white shirt that says Hook, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys talk about Hook on Saturday? I saw some of the.
Yeah, we sure did.
I saw some of it, but not. I was like working while I'm working when you guys are on Saturdays usually.
We got really into Hook. I think he's a clear-cut nominee for best gear of the year. I love his gear.
Just looks phenomenal.
Yeah, Red hates his hair, which is fair.
I can see that. Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Hook is for the kids, and that hair is for the kids.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants. I don't care. He looked fucking amazing.
I agree. And then we get a quick Eddie Kingston promo in the back. We find out that his nickname for Ortiz is Monkey, which I think is very sweet. And then he also calls Daniel Garcia a little ugly man, which I think is really funny.
Little ugly man.
And he's going to be in a 10-man on Rampage. Rampage seems stacked. You got that 10-man, you've got the submission match, and you've got an 8-man.
Yeah.
With all the best friends. I liked also, and this is just my own personal preference, I like that Wheeler Yuta isn't in that match and that it's Rocky Romero instead of Wheeler Yuta. Rocky still going to take the pin, but it's nice to see Rocky wrestle. I like Rocky.
Yeah. Right on. I know you like Rocky. I spoke a little ill of Rocky last week, but I don't. He's fine. He'll be. I'm looking forward to the match, and it'll be Trent's first match back.
Yeah,
right.
I'm excited for him. Yeah, it'll be his first match back in a very, very long time. First match with a crew cut or a shaved head, buzzed head.
Yeah.
So
and the Kingston match, it's Kingston, Proud and Powerful,
and Lucha Brothers.
Oh yeah, and the Lucha Brothers against 2.0, Daniel Garcia, and did they say who the other two guys?
They did a very bad job of saying it, but it's going to be the Acclaimed.
The Acclaimed. Okay. Yeah. That'll be a good match.
Yeah. I also think this was something I wanted to touch on in the Danielson match. My only negative about that match, and it has nothing to do with the wrestlers themselves, but when your world heavyweight champion is bleeding in the middle of a 60-minute match and you're trying to build drama, it doesn't help for you to remind the audience where you're going to be in 3 weeks with a graphic and mid-match being like, hey, AEW makes their debut in Atlantic City. I don't care right now. Just talk about the match. I think that lessens the match for me a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
It's hey man, it's on free TV. They gotta get those ads in where they can.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I know what you're saying though. And like that might just be a thing. I don't know how that works, where it's just like they gotta get it in at a certain time, so we have to do it. But yeah,
I get it. And then we move to our main event: Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, against Dante Martin. MJF comes to the ring, cutting a promo. He says that he hates Dallas. He says that Dallas's mother swallows.
Your daughter swallows, because the fans are chanting, "You suck, you suck."
Oh yes,
you suck. And he said, "Hey, Dallas, your daughter swallows."
Classic heel heat.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I was still processing everything, so I feel like I wasn't fully paying attention to this match from bell to bell, but Dante hits a rolling standing 450 splash on MJF, which is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. When they go to commercial break, MJF puts Dante in an armbar very quickly and starts jerking off Dante's arm to get heat from the crowd, which was pretty funny. I also enjoyed this, MJF he's so smooth in the ring, and people aren't going to give him a lot of credit for that because he's so good at so many other things. But when he was rolling out of the ring and then Dante would do a dive onto him, roll out to another side of the ring, and he did 4 different dives for all different parts of the ring. I thought, for a spot that's so silly, MJF did a really good job of trying to make that feel as organic as possible. I thought that was really fantastic. And I also really love at one point, and this is just a classic spot that I enjoy, and Bryce Remsburg is the perfect referee for it, where MJF puts his feet on the ropes and he notices and he kicks the feet off the ropes.
Yeah.
I love that. That's one of my favorite referee spots.
That's great.
Timeless. Yeah. How did you feel about this match?
I mean, like the match itself, I thought was very entertaining. I I think Dante Martin's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And MJF, like you said, like he's probably a lot better in the ring than people, like a lot of people give him credit for and know, because like you said, with the match with Darby, it was like, oh, people like know, like think I'm all talk, but like I'm gonna beat you with a headlock, with a headlock takeover. I mean, yeah, the diamond ring was involved too, but that was a great match, you know.
Really awesome.
The dude can fucking wrestle. The only thing, I guess, like I'm just kind of confused of like what was the whole, I mean, maybe we'll see, but like what was the whole point of Dante? He's with Leo, he's with Team Taz. He's not with Team Taz, he's just by himself. And then he loses this match. And now we've got like a 6-man next week. But it's like, yeah.
And I'm so happy you brought this up, because I'm really frustrated by this. Like a Wednesday night tradition that I have, at least I try to have it, is the hour before Dynamite, as I'm like setting all this stuff up, I will go to YouTube and I'll watch the stuff that AEW has released for the week, like their hype videos, their road to, their whatever. I'll watch that stuff on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, I did not get to, I usually watch those, but I did not see that today.
It's really frustrating to me, because they do the thing, they talk about the Hangman match, they talk about Sheeta, and then they talk about the Dynamite Diamond Ring match. And there's a promo of Dante and he starts talking, and then Leo walks in and they laugh and they shake hands and they're, aha, we showed them, we knew that was going to happen. Well, hey, AEW, where was Leo last week? Where was Leo this week? Unless I watched YouTube, I wouldn't have known what was going on. And this was another situation where Leo could have appeared. So Ricky Starks comes in when Dante has his foot on the ropes. Ricky takes or no, is it MJF that has his foot on the ropes?
He put MJF's foot on the rope to
there you go.
break up a pin.
Exactly. And then that distracts Dante and that leads to the finish. In that situation, Dante could have come out, or I'm sorry, Leo could have come out and started brawling. Yeah. What's going on here? The national audience who doesn't watch these YouTube shows has no idea what the status of their relationship is. And overall, they're doing Leo dirty, and I don't appreciate it. I need more Leo Rush. He doesn't need to be in the 6-man next week. I understand that. That doesn't need to happen. And Dante's not in the match either. But you can do more. It doesn't need to just be about one storyline in a segment. You can run multiple storylines, which they do, but I don't know why they're not doing it here. And it's a little frustrating to me, because Leo Rush and Dante Martin are fantastic, and I want to see more of both of them on television together.
Yeah, so. Me too. I was enjoying their tag team. You know, like it was coming together so quickly, and it was so satisfying to see like little things. Like, was it like the first week they teams, like Leo was like calling like Dante to end it, and then the next week Dante was like calling to Leo to end it. I was like, oh, this is great. Like fucking so good. They're both so good, and it's cool that like oh, what if we just have like the two like fastest like guys who can fly the highest, the guy who's the fastest and the guy who can fly the highest, we'll just put them in a team together, and the fast guy is gonna teach the guy who...
exactly. Yeah, so I think we're probably going in that direction, but like we don't know yet, I guess. We'll have to wait and see. But I need more of a resolution to that, and I hope we get it moving forward. So after the match, FTR comes down. FTR is celebrating with MJF. They're all part of the Pinnacle, just in case anyone forgot. For a second, I was like, why are they celebrating together? And then I remembered
that they are part of the Pinnacle.
They are part of the Pinnacle. But it also, AEW does a thing where heels just help each other. I mean, Ricky Starks came down there. Right. And he took MJF, he helped MJF to hurt Dante Martin, common cause. Lights go down. Who could it be? Lights go up. It's Sting and Darby, which is fantastic. This is Sting's 1-year anniversary. He debuted last year at Winter is Coming.
Winter is Coming.
This is Sting's 1-year anniversary in the company.
What and this year.
Yeah, this is probably Sting's best year since like 96 or maybe 97. Like this has been great for Sting and I couldn't be happier about it. He was my favorite wrestler growing up. I'm so grateful. And then yeah, they
I
make that
love
magic announcement.
I love hearing Shivani. It's Sting! Oh man. That's so good.
Yeah, it always has to be that way too. Like he
Yeah.
always has to say it the same way. Yeah. God. And then make
Feels
the
good.
announcement next
Yeah.
week in Greensboro for the first time in like 19 years or since 1999 or something crazy. Sting's gonna be wrestling in the Greensboro Coliseum, and it's gonna be a
Punk
6-man
came out.
tag.
Did we talk about that?
Oh, then Punk
Oh,
came out, and the crowd's going crazy waiting for Punk, which was also fantastic. This crowd never stopped being hot from minute 1 to the end of hour 2. This crowd never stopped being wild.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
It was fucking awesome. I hope they got energy left. They're probably taping Rampage right now, or maybe it's just like probably just ending.
Yeah. Oh man, great crowd. Also, Dan Lambert is going to be making his triumphant return on Friday on Rampage as well.
Oh, that's right.
We can look forward to that too.
That's look forward to. He'll come out in case anybody's getting tired. Dan Lambert's gonna come out and serenade everyone.
Yeah.
I love Dan Lambert. How's the chat doing? Nobody said anything. All right.
Hey, Chica Marks just said Garland knows how to party. Got that right.
Damn straight, Chica Marks. Garland knows what's up.
All right. Well, hey, that's our show this week. That's the woo woo woos and the whats of Winter is Coming. We'll be back on Saturday. Red will be back on Saturday as well with you'll be working. Maybe.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'll just quit my job.
Hey, maybe your schedule changes. You never know.
I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be the news you can't lose. There's been a lot of news this week. There's a lot going on. So we're going to talk about that
going on
this week. We're also going to talk about Rampage, so come check that out. But until then, hey, have a great night. Hey, John, thanks for doing this.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. RIP Red.
Gosh. We'll see you Saturday. Goodbye.
Woo woo woo.
Bye. Woo,
Thank
woo,
you.
You know it. Bye.
Olé. 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 Olé.